Welcome back, deep divers.
Yeah.
Buckle up, because today we're diving into a topic that might sound like it's straight out of some sci-fi flick. The synthetic self.
Yeah, synthetic selves, it's a real thing. And to help us unpack it all, we've got, well, a real expert for you today.
Now, I've been digging into the work of Dr. Matt Frew, senior lecturer, get this, in enterprise and transformational technologies at the University of the West of Scotland. And let me tell you, his paper had me thinking, is this the future or what?
Oh, yeah, Dr. Frew, he doesn't pull any punches. He's basically saying we're on this wild ride right on the edge of a whole new kind of society, the transhuman synthetic society.
Whoa, right.
Whoa is right. That's a mouthful. So before we get ahead of ourselves, let's break this down. What exactly are we talking about when we say transhuman synthetic society?
Okay, so imagine this. It's like technology is woven into our lives like so deeply that the line between us, humans, and machines, the digital stuff, it starts to blur. We're already kind of seeing it with social media, right? We build these online personas, these versions of ourselves.
True, true. Yeah, but Frew's saying that's just the beginning. He actually uses events like festivals, concerts, conferences, those big gatherings to make his point.
Events. Okay, I gotta admit, that wasn't where I thought this was going. What's the connection there?
So he says events have always been shaped by tech, which makes sense. But what's happening now, it's different. Like way back when, you had those World's Fairs, right? Those were all about showing off the latest gadgets and gizmos. It was a way of saying, hey, look how technology's changing the world.
Right, right. Showing off the latest and greatest.
Exactly. And Frew's arguing that today's events, especially the ones with VR, AR, that whole virtual shebang, they're doing the same thing. They're giving us a glimpse into a future where our sense of what's real, reality itself, is all mixed up with the digital.
Okay, now that you mention it, the pandemic really did launch us into warp speed when it comes to virtual events, right?
Oh, absolutely. Frew even points that out. The pandemic, it was like this unexpected catalyst. Suddenly everything was virtual, Zoom calls, online conferences. And while it kind of forced our hand, it also showed us what's possible.
Yeah, no more excuses about not being able to attend because you were double booked.
Right. But, and this is a big but, it also brought up this whole debate. What's real? What's fake? Like, can a virtual concert ever really compare to the real deal?
Right. Like, I love my favorite band, but would I rather see them in a stadium, feeling the energy of the crowd, or as holograms in my living room? Tough call.
Totally. But Frew argues that it's not about real versus fake. It's about how tech is blurring those lines so much that we need a whole new way to even think about it. And those lines are getting blurrier all the time thanks to what he calls dark hue technologies.
Dark hue technologies. That sounds intense. What exactly are we talking about here? Is this like a tech version of Star Wars?
Haha, not quite. Dark hue stands for distributed ledger technology, artificial intelligence, extended reality, and quantum computing. Basically, it's all about data, how we create it, how we use it, how it shapes our experiences.
Okay, I'm following so far. But how do these dark hue technologies connect to this idea of a synthetic self?
Think of it like this. Every time you're online, every post, every click, it creates data. And all that data, it's like this digital footprint of who you are, what you like, how you think. Dark hue technologies, especially AI and extended reality, they take all that data and they create a digital extension of you. That's your synthetic self, so to speak.
Okay. So is it like having a digital twin? Like, is that my synthetic self?
Well, it's bigger than that. A digital twin, it's more like a static copy. Your synthetic self, it's constantly evolving, learning from all that data you're generating, and it influences how you interact with the world, both online and offline. Like, think about personalized recommendations you get online. That's your synthetic self at work.
Whoa, I never thought about it like that. This isn't just about attending a virtual concert. It's about how technology is fundamentally changing how we see ourselves and our place in the world.
Exactly. It's about work, education, healthcare, even our relationships. Imagine a world where every experience is tailored to you based on your synthetic self. That's the future process. Dr. Frew is describing a world where the digital and physical are so intertwined that it's hard to tell where one ends and the other begins.
It's definitely a lot to process. If our sense of self is becoming more synthetic, does that change what it means to be human? That's something to think about as we wrap up this mind-bending deep dive. Thanks for joining us.